And mayonnaise. Anyways, like I was saying, we'll be watching Bob's Dating Advice, and it's like a compilation and mayonnaise. Anyways, like I was saying, we'll be watching Bob's Dating Advice, and it's like a compilation, and it is none other than the legend of Sir Walter Underbridge. Anyways, like I was...
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Sure. Well, then maybe that came later. Their initial reaction is actual terror. Like, actually, maybe we're here to grab them and run away or something.
Testing.
Something.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Sure. Well, then maybe that came later. Their initial reaction is actual terror. Like, actually, maybe we're here to...
Hold up, I'll be right back. I have to get some water and get my meds. I'm back.
Oh, you shouldn't have. Ah.
Bruh. I'm reviewing of these guys' story times and acting and all.
Ah, so sweet.
You guys asked me, did I ever got friend zoned? Oh, fuck yeah! Plenty of times. If they don't want to deal with my bleep, because they've been literally roasting me of how small my dick is. Oh, okay. First off, F off.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Sure. Well, then maybe that came later. Their initial reaction is actual terror. Like, actually, maybe we're here to grab them and run away or something. I'm going to be telling you a story about young love, about a first job, about excitement over the possibility of sitting near a girl in high school, about overcomplicated plans that end hilariously and also quite terrifyingly in both failure and near-death experience, and the hard-to-explain series of decisions that led me and my high school best friend to almost kill a girl completely by accident. Where did this begin? My high school best friend, Dave, and I hanging out in his basement, doing the only thing that we did other than video games and work at our part-time jobs. No, not that. Which was play ping pong and lament about girls. I don't know if anyone else had this, probably not ping pong. We would literally, he had a ping pong table, but that was like what the ping pong table was for. And I don't know why. And it's a very clear and strict rule.
Let me just say this, okay? I tried to get my high school sweetheart, ex-high school sweetheart. She said okay, so, but a few hours later, this is way before I met my fiance. Then hours later, I got ghosted. Yeah, I got ghosted. Turns out one of my homeboys was dressing up like a girl.
Rule that we followed. But we're playing ping pong, talking about girls, and recently Dave had begun working at a new job at the movie theater, which is a great job. So a lot of free movies thanks to Dave. But a lot of people go to the movie theater, and while we're playing ping pong, hanging out, he gets a text from one of his coworkers that this girl, the girl that he currently would not stop talking about, Jessica, was seeing a movie, had just walked in, gotten her tickets, and one of our creepy friends at the movie theater was like, hey, she's here. And sent him a text. And so we got this information, right?
You guys had a whole team on this.
Yeah, well, it's hard to date. Okay? You gotta have takes a lot of effort.
I'm trying to keep track of everything. There's Jessica just walked in. What is the name of this creepy friend?
Can we call him I don't know, Kyle or something?
Sure, Kyle's about right.
All right.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Kyle works at the movie theater and sweeps up the popcorn after the
Yeah, you know
movie's
what?
over,
That
right?
can be confirmed there. Every movie theater has a Kyle, so we
Yeah.
have decreed.
Okay, so we get the text from Kyle, movie theater, creepy guy. Says, not only is Jessica my friend's love interest seeing a movie, she's seeing a movie with a friend who is the girl that I myself at that point in time would not shut up about. It's perfect, right?
What's your love interest name in this?
Melissa.
Yeah, what's the name? Melissa, okay.
Jessica and Melissa.
My best friend's love interest is at the movies with her best friend, my love interest. It's a love quadrangle. How do you say that word? Quadrangle.
I
Quadrangle?
think it's just a square.
It's parallelogram. Could be anything.
Could be. You're right.
Trapezoid.
Square is a parallelogram, but a parallelogram does not have to be a square.
Ain't that the truth?
Ain't that the truth?
You and your friend do sound like squares in this. Go ahead.
Anyway, we've got all the information now. The plan is obvious, right? Do you not see how this has to play out? Clearly, what we had to do was, step one, gather a posse, obviously.
Yeah.
So we gathered the boys, if you will, our other friends.
So gang hit. Got it.
Yep. We had to rush to the grocery store to pick up some flowers and chocolates. We head to the theater to stake out the car and then ambush them with love and appreciation as they exit the theater to get into their vehicle and drive back home.
Meanwhile, hey Jessica, you want to go see a movie today? Yeah, Melissa, that sounds great. I can't wait. I just want to get away, just enjoy a movie, maybe go hang out afterward.
Just the two of us, just casual, no drama, they had no idea. They had no idea.
I'm imagining this went well, but again, I don't want to get ahead
Yeah,
of
well,
myself.
you don't know which part resulted in attempted murder, so don't draw any assumptions.
Beat them with the flowers, accept my love.
This brings us to Act 2, obviously, preparation. Now it's time to take action. There's a time clock on this. We know which movie they're seeing, when it was, how long the movie is. Our posse of friends that we gathered are the Stevens. One named Steven with a V, one named Steven with a PH. So there's four of us. We pile into my friend Dave's Honda Civic, and this next part plays out like an action movie. This is why the posse needs to be here, right? You gotta keep the car running, you gotta have logistics, you gotta have people in charge. So Dave and I are in the front seat, the Stevens are in the back seat, and we're like driving, totally following the speed limit, totally being safe. We're driving to the grocery store, and the Stevens are in the back. One of them we call Steven, and one of them is Steve, which helps
Okay.
differentiate, but also is sort of indicative of their personality. Steve is the gossip. Steve is the one like texting updates with Kyle, like, did they leave early? No? Okay. Like keeping the subjects in sight, keeping our intel fresh. Steven is the one staring at his watch on the minute, every minute. Is like, oh, 28 minutes. 28 minutes from right now, we need to be in that parking lot. That'll give us, 15 minutes to find the car, find a spot, get a good angle, and he's sitting there just staring at his watch, just waiting. So we get to the grocery store, we run into the store, we've never bought this stuff before. Neither of us realized until we got inside, we're losers, right? We haven't really dated people to this point. Never bought flowers for someone or chocolates. Never gone to the part of the store that's set up for desperate losers trying to impress a girl sort of area. Don't know where that is.
So she bought chocolates, flowers, and a 50-pack of condoms. I'm guessing.
Magnum XLs, baby.
Standards, yes, absolutely standard.
Extra small.
Extra small
I
magnums.
wonder if anyone's ever like creepily stalked or planned an ambush for me anywhere close to what you guys did for this group.
How many ambushes have you avoided
Yeah.
narrowly?
Like, how many people's elaborate posse murder love plans have I just barely dodged? Probably zero.
And finally, after running around the store, looking like weirdos, we're fully loaded. Chocolates, flowers, extra small condoms, ready to go.
Ah!
The movie theater is not super far away, but we're back in the car and it's like, all right, 8 minutes to the theater. And we're about 5 minutes away. Everything's on time. Steven is happy. Steve is updating us. They're still in the movie. Everything is fine. Kyle has not seen them go to the bathroom. He is watching them like a hawk.
I don't know if I'd be honored someone liked me that much or if I'd be really weirded out or creeped out. I don't know how I'd feel.
Well, you don't need to worry about it because no one's that obsessed with you.
can-
Continue, Bob.
All
I
right.
can answer for you definitively, Wade. It's creepy. But anyway,
Is creepy.
we're very responsibly and safely driving to the movie theater. We get there, right? Okay, so Act 3, the payoff, the action. We're here.
Yeah.
This is going to sound worse than it is. Dave happens to know which car is theirs. He
That
knows
doesn't sound too bad.
which car his beloved Jessica drives. And
His bull. Yeah, okay.
That sounds
Sorry.
worse than knowing what car they drive.
Sorry. Go ahead. His beloved Jen.
And so we go, we're scouting, we find the car, we circle around, we find an angle where we can park the Stevens so they can kind of see the action, you know? Because they've been with us this far. You don't want to leave the Stevens parked off in the corner somewhere like a-holes.
Yeah, no.
You want them to be able to witness
Your greatness.
the
yeah.
great success that is about to happen, all this effort that we've put into coordinating this massive effort. So yeah, we get everything situated. We're sitting in the car. It's like a perfect like TV show thing where it's like from our car, it's sort of like through one row. There's a perfect little window between the parked cars and a light. Literally, it's nighttime. It's like a weekend evening. In the dark night, their car, an orange car by the way, has a beacon on it, like at this bright focal point. But basically, we get the Stevens all set up. And then at some point, Dave and I are like, okay, well, we don't want to just be sitting here. If they come out earlier than we think or something, or maybe we have the timing off, we don't want to like get out of our car and run at them. That's terrifying. Someone jumps out of a vehicle and charges you in the parking lot. That's like a kidnapper or something, right? That's bad. So we're like, we'll casually, with our huge bouquets of flowers and oversized boxes of chocolate, get out of our car and sort of skulk, I guess is the word I would use to describe it. Sort of pick a spot where they can't see us because it's a surprise, obviously. They can't see us. We're hidden. Turns out that light bleeds a lot. It shows a lot of area. So I think we were like, oh, we'll pick a discreet spot. It'll be fine. Luckily, the car that the girls are driving is this big truck sort of thing, like an SUV. It's tall. It hides us pretty well. I think if a family that was going to see a Pixar movie drove past this location in the parking lot that night, they would have looked off to the side and seen me. I was as big as I am now then. A huge 6'4" big dude with his very short friend standing in the middle of a parking lot with like some stuff, like obviously holding something, I guess flowers maybe. But like, if you drive by that, how bad does that look?
Yeah, if I drove by that, I would think there were some shenanigans afoot and we'd go to a different theater.
Looking back on this though, right? And I don't feel good about this choice specifically. Of all the choices we
don't.
made, this choice
Okay.
to lay in wait for what was this?
All right. Disclaimer of this: do not do this. All right. I actually did this. To this day, thank God I'm engaged, and I have been, and I'm still friend zoned by my ex high school sweetheart to this day.
Essentially,
Don't even
I guess
ask.
our prey to jump out at two unsuspecting people. It's a questionable
No, this
plan.
can only lead to true love.
Yeah, well, maybe it did. Maybe one of these girls is actually Mandy.
Oh,
Look, so we're standing here. It was probably like maybe 10 minutes, which is a long time to lurk in a parking lot. But we're sitting there and it feels like forever, right? It's the combination of feeling kind of uneasy about where we are, the choices we've made, how this looks, but also we're about to ask a girl on a date, which is terrifying. Like, it's for high school me, I had never really done that, not successfully done that, and it was a lot. And we're sitting there like, you know, hearts aflutter, murder muscles really getting warmed up. So we're waiting forever.
Yeah.
And finally, peeking through the, you know, you can sort of look through the windows of a car, peeking around the edges, lurking, if you will. Finally, they round the corner. So they're coming, they're making their way to the back parking lot. You know, we sort of huddle. We're like, they're coming. Oh my God. Oh my God. And we're looking at each other, and Dave and I, collectively, we have this conversation that's like, don't jump out to her. Don't give them any warning. Make sure they're nice and close so they can't run, you know? Make sure that they get close enough. And we're like, yeah, that's the plan. Obviously, all of this is obvious. And finally, they get close enough. Jessica's digging for her car keys. They sort of finally arrived at the car, and we're like, yes. And we take our big step out from behind the car, presenting the flowers so proudly. And I think everyone knows what their reaction is.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Sure. Well, then maybe that came later. Their initial reaction is actual terror. Like, actually, maybe we're here to grab them and run away or something, or take their purse and punch them in the face. They look terrified, which is not surprising from this perspective. Dave and I are taken aback by their terrified look, and we're like, no, wait a minute. This is a perfect plan. This isn't scary. This is charming. We're expressing how much we care about them. They should be blown away with love and entrancement. Is that a word?
Yeah,
Entrapment?
sure. Oh,
Sure.
yeah, entrapment. I think you're getting there.
Yeah. Well, so they look scared. Dave and I look at each other and realize, like, oh, you know what? Maybe there were some flaws. But we're here. We've done it. It's a surprise. Everything will be fine. But at this point, like, Melissa's kind of like scared, but realized that it's us and it's probably fine. Jessica doesn't look scared anymore, but she looks like she's having trouble. Like, she looks like she might faint or collapse. And unbeknownst to us, despite the amount of love in his heart for this person, Dave had no idea, and I had no idea because I didn't know her very well. Jessica has a serious heart condition. She's a I don't know what the medical condition is, but she has a serious heart health condition, and extreme surprises are bad for her and may cause her heart to stop beating. So anything that's terrifically shocking, jarring, terrifying is potentially deadly to this person.
Okay.
And so we didn't know that. And we don't know how to help. So she just sort of begins having cardiac distress and having trouble staying conscious. And she's the only one who knows at this point she needs to reach into her bag and get a bottle of medicine to take one of the pills that she has with her in case. Case this comes up, but like, and I don't know, I imagine her friend who was with her probably had some clue since they're best friends maybe, but like Dave and I are just standing there staring at this girl dying in front of us, not really sure, and our, you know, nerves and excitement about asking these girls to go on a date turned suddenly to like actual terror on our parts. We don't know what happened, but apparently we've scared a person to death.
Why would you be worried?
That wasn't so I've been selling it. Listen, I've been setting it up like, oh, this is a joke. We're going to kill this girl or whatever. We didn't mean to kill anyone. Jesus Christ. Believe it or not, based on the plan that we hatched and the decisions we made to execute that plan, our ultimate goal was not to kill this person. It was to secure a date or maybe a double date.
I feel like I'm watching a fucking true crime episode.
Yeah,
like, this
God.
is like the killer explaining how they got started.
No, I see the detective piecing all the evidence together. And they lurked. No, they skulked outside by the car with flowers for their grave.
We didn't mean to kill anybody, but we found we had a real taste for it.
So this is happening. She reaches into her bag. Somebody has a bottle of water, takes medicine. After maybe a solid 5 to 7 minutes of like terror and staring and waiting by me and Dave, everyone is fine. Jessica's fine. Melissa is pretty pissed off. She's fine. And so, like, everyone's fine. There's 4 of us standing there in the middle of this parking lot. By the way, the Stevens must have had a hell of a show. I'm a little surprised they didn't come running out of the car or try to figure out, or like hop in the front seat and drive away. I don't know what the Stevens were doing
They were
or
coming
thinking,
up with their
but
alibi as you
Yeah.
were out there, like, okay, they kidnapped us too.
nobody saw us at the grocery store with them. Maybe we were at home. Maybe we were in my basement.
They knew about the heart condition the whole time. They wanted this to happen.
Yeah, I don't know, but they must have had a hell of a show. So the 4 of us are standing there. So everything's fine. Everyone's alive. At this point, Dave and I are like, okay, everyone's good. Let's do what we came here for.
The mood is set.
Everything has gone according to the plan. It's correctly once prior to this. Everything has gone according. Likes her, and he thinks that maybe she likes him back. Between me and Melissa, it's a much more unspoken amount of interest. Utterly unspoken.
How much
you could say? So this has all happened, and I look directly at Melissa, and I'm like, I hold out the flowers and the chocolate silently, and I look at her, and I'm like, you date? And she doesn't take the flowers or the chocolate. She doesn't say anything. She blocks eye contact with me, slowly shakes her head no, and then just proceeds to get her friend into the car so they can leave. So not equivalent responses, but not equivalent, pretext between the 2 interactions. I don't think Melissa's treatment of me was particularly unfair. Could have been nicer.
Yeah, given the situation, I think she was definitely overreacting to everything.
Yeah, I
right
don't
now.
blame her for, maybe being a little taken aback and angry at me directly about what had happened just then. But
It's not like she was the one who was dying on the ground.
yeah, she was fine.
Yeah, she was fine.
fine the whole time.
And the one who was dying sent the other person into the friend zone. You're not even in the friend zone, which is better?
Yeah.
Good? It's good.
Maybe I can circle back.
Yeah.
Give it another shot.
Yeah.
It's not too late.
We can plan it out.
Anyway, 2 shots fired, no dates acquired.
Chocolate. I feel that. Like, I feel.
Or if they were just planning to do this the whole time. And now, so over a week of me being pissed at these people for not communicating and being pissed at the first guys for the gas line thing. I'm not being rude, but I'm already on this fuse of like, just put it in. Just give us the fridge and get out of here. I'm busy. And so I show them the side yard. I don't know how to take care of a yard yet. It's just grass, right? It's grass, tall grass. And he's like, oh, I hope we can get through here. As we're casually strolling through this 3-foot tall, dead, thin grass. He's like, I don't know, can you trim this? And I was like, well, I thought I had an hour and a half before you were going to be here. That was on my list. It's too late now. But yes, he makes every fucking thing that happens. This dude is like, oh, God, I don't know. And I'm like, just bring the fridge. So I open the gate to the side thing, and they brave the jungle that is our side yard. After they spend 20 minutes, they come and they drag it around. And so we have a fridge in there, and it already has a water line because it has an ice maker. And so you have to take it out to put the new one in. You have to pull it out. You have to undo the water line. There's supposed to be some kind of shutoff. These guys cannot find the shutoff to the water line. And he looks at me and he's like, do you know how to do this? And I'm like, I don't know. Is it my fucking job to install a refrigerator? I don't think so. And like, he looks at me, he's like, there should be a shutoff. You should know where that is. I'm like, bro, I just fucking bought this house. Why would I know anything about that? I didn't install it. And he was like, can you call the previous homeowner? Like, yeah, let me call her up. We're buddies. I bought her house and now we get dinner every 2 weeks. Obviously. God. So his solution, his brilliant solution is he just unhooks the water and the water is just like spray, and he just kinks the line real quick. Like he unhooks it and he knows it's not shut off, and he's all surprised that water starts spraying everywhere. And so he just kinks the line, and I'm like, okay, well, just hold the line kinked and that'll be fine. And he holds it up to me and is like, I'm gonna need you to hold this so we can finish. And I'm like, you know what? Fine. I'm not gonna make a joke about this or be angry. Fine. Do this, get that fucking thing out of here, bring the other one in here, plug in the whatever, let's do this. And so I'm standing in my own kitchen holding a water line with a bucket under it because it's even kinked off, it's still dripping, right? So I'm holding a little bucket to make sure we don't get any water everywhere. They bring the old one out. There's a front window in the kitchen, so I can see them go out to the front where their truck is and they're doing stuff. And so I know they're like on the way. I kind of see what they're making progress.
Yeah.
And I'm just standing there with the stupid kinked hose that I can't leave. And I just hear from the backyard, like, kerchink, whoosh. And then one guy goes, oh shit. And they just start rushing around. And I'm just standing here like, I can't go look. I don't know what's happening. It sounds like water is leaking. I have no idea where that would be coming from. They don't come in. They don't come ask me anything or like do anything so that I can help. They're just rushing around back there like, oh, but what if you did that? Like I can kind of hear what they're doing. And Mandy is like working. Like it's the middle of a Friday. Mandy is busy working, so I can't just be like, hey, come help. I stand there for maybe 10 or 15 minutes before I finally text Mandy and I'm like, I know you're busy, but some fucking terrible thing is happening. Like, please, you come just hold this so I can try and like help these idiots. I walk out there and there's water is erupting up out of the ground like a geyser has started gushing. I don't know what has happened. Apparently, what genius number 2 did is they had the fridge on a dolly wideways, right? So it's the widest way it could be to drag it around. And there was a bush. They were trying to drag it through this little path that's like, it's like a sidewalk width. It's not a wide path, but it's wide enough if the refrigerator was sideways, it probably would have fit right through. They were going to drag it through wideways and apparently just fucking destroy this bush. But also apparently inside this bush is a PVC pipe coming out of the ground that's part of like the irrigation system. That he just sees the bush and is like, fuck that bush. What he did was he dragged the fridge right through the bush and snapped off the fucking PVC pipe. And there's just a geyser of water coming up out of the ground. And what they were doing when I went out there, which is apparently what they had been doing the whole 10 minutes, is one of them was standing there staring, like thinking, and the other one had the broken off PVC pipe. It was trying to like jam it back on, like it was just gonna slip right back on. And like they looked over at me and were like he might as well. I don't remember what he said because the rage started boiling at this point inside of me. But he looked over at me and like blankly looked at me and gestured at the water and looked at the water and looked back at me like I'm gonna fucking fix it. Like I magically know what the hell is happening and how to fix this. Taking cleansing breaths, clenching my fists a little too hard, digging my nails into my palms, kind of hurt. Oh, okay. God. Yeah, so like literally they did this, and the one guy who, apparently the guy who was standing there watching is the one who did it, and he looked at me and he was like, I can't believe that pipe was in there. It was hidden in there, and it's an accident, you know? And like, I wish I had said this, but it's not like it's not grass. It's not a flower or something you could like, ooh, push it over and scoot. It's a big fucking bush. To get the thing through where he got it through, he literally had to pull it up to that gap and it stopped. And he was like, ooh, this bush is in the way. And he was just like, no, it's not. Let's go. Oh. Oh. I don't know what led them to that action, but there's no version of that that's not just so fucking stupid that it makes me unbelievably angry. Even right now, and this has just happened a few hours ago now. I'm still so mad. Oh. Okay.
God, no, it's not.
I don't know, man. Like, I couldn't even. And so this leads to a whole series of, like, finally, I'm like, we need to shut the water off to the house, you fucking idiots. Like, you're not gonna wedge that pipe back on there. It snapped off, doesn't fit back on. There's no super glue, there's no flex tape. We gotta turn the water off to the whole house. And so the guy who seemed to be in charge of this was like, right, the water main. And he handed me the pipe and was like, hold this on there. Like that was gonna do something? Like, he was holding it on there, and you know when you have a hose and you put your thumb over it and the water sprays out? That's what he was doing. He was not keeping any water inside of anything. He was just holding this pipe down and spraying water fucking everywhere. And he was like, you hold this, I'll go do the... And I, like, took it from him, and I did it for a minute, but I was standing there like, this isn't doing anything. Like, as I was doing it, I was like, he said hold it, I'm gonna hold... Why would I hold this? What is this doing? And eventually, I just set it down and walk out front, and he's, like, on the street. Each house has, like, a line that comes off that main line that goes into the house. And so down where that connection is, where, like, your water meter might be, there's usually, like, a master shutoff, like a main thing. But also, I didn't know this. Apparently, there's a main water shutoff inside the house. And so the one down by the street was like really difficult. It wouldn't budge. It was like seized up. This house was built in the 70s. It's fairly old. And so this pipe has been down here for a long time. And this dude is just like wanging away on it with a wrench and sprayed it with WD-40, and he's asking me if I have tools, which, like, I get that it's not part of his job to have to shut off the main water to a house, but these dudes literally were looking at me like I was their boss. Every step of the way, they were like, it's not turning. Both turn and look at me, what do we do? And I'm standing here like, this doesn't seem like how you install a fridge. I don't know. I have different expectations. I'm as confused as you are. More probably. And so eventually, like, I'm sitting here Googling on my phone. Dummy number 1 and dummy number 2 are like hitting the pipe with a wrench, doing nothing, looking at each other. Nothing. Eventually, I'm Googling and I find some stuff that's like, there should be an outdoor shutoff and there should be an indoor shutoff. And I go start looking around my house frantically for any sort of valve I can shut off. Finally, after a solid half hour of water fucking destroying my backyard, flooding our patio. By the way, they left the brand new fridge that they had bragged back there. He got it a full 3 feet away from the water explosion before he set the fridge down and was like, let me fix this. So this fridge is literally sitting in a muddy puddle getting sprayed with water for half an hour. Which, to be fair, I did not think of either, but I'm out here like my mind is exploding with rage that these guys just fucking broke because it's not fixed still. So finally, I turn the water off, and everything calms down for a second. And I look at these guys, and they look pretty shaken because, like, sure, what did they just do? And I look at them, and I'm like, okay, so how do we fix this? Like, you have a plumber that you call your boss, like... You did this. How do you fix this? And he looks at me and he's like, you're going to have to talk to Lowe's about that. Apparently, these fucking guys don't even work for Lowe's. They work for a third-party company that Lowe's contracts to deliver. And I'm like, at this point, everything's calming down a little. I'm still so mad that I'm like, they looked like they were a little scared of me because my face was not pleasant. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to call Lowe's. You guys go do the fucking thing, put the fridge in there. I'm going to call Lowe's. I call, and my first thought is, okay, I'm going to get into the infinite loop of no one's going to answer, right? Because I just did this for a whole week. I call, and miraculously, a human answers the phone. And I explain, like, hey, your guys are here delivering a fridge. They ripped a thing out of the ground and flooded my backyard, and there's an active water leak. How do we fix this? And they said I should contact you. And he's like, yeah, just 1 second. And puts me on hold right away. Like, doesn't even let me respond. So I'm on hold for a couple minutes. Comes back. He's like, okay, I talked to my manager. So what we have to do is you give me your information, like your name and your address and whatever, and we will initiate contact with the company that we contracted to do the delivery. And in my mind, I'm like, wait. I'm talking to the guys who work for the company who just damaged my house, and they said I should talk to you. So the process is they direct me to you, who make contact with them on my behalf. It's a whole thing. At this point, I'm like, all the water's off to our entire house, right? Sinks don't work, no running water whatsoever. Hopefully this will be fixed fast, like tomorrow, maybe today if we're lucky. And the guy's like, yeah, so we'll make contact, and then within 24 to 48 hours, they will reach out to you and start the process of getting it scheduled to get this fixed. And I'm like, okay, you understand, the water is off to my entire house right now. It's not acceptable that maybe within 48 hours, maybe we can start the process of maybe getting this fixed. And the guy's like, that's the process. This is the process. And I literally, this is the point where I start to lose it. Like, I'm super cordial. I've been a delivery driver. I've worked in food service. I know what it's like when people are totally shitty to you and you have to try and maintain, decorum. You have to try and be professional. So even when people are terrible to me, I'm always like, oh, I appreciate that. Like, try to be nice. And I say to this dude, like, what the fuck do you mean this is the you hear me, right? Your company just damaged my house unrelated to what you're doing. I start swearing at this dude. I start saying, like, what the fuck? Like, my shit is broken right now. My fucking house doesn't have water. And he literally, I think I broke him a little. And he literally pauses and is like, do you not want to do this process? Because this is the only process. And like, I almost fucking threw my phone. And I get that this one random dude at the store is not going to fix my problem. But holy fuck, I almost yeeted my cell phone into space because and so I go through the whole thing. Apparently we're fucked at this point, right? We're just not going to have water for God knows how long, up to 2 days at minimum. In the back of my mind, I'm like, there's no way this is how this is resolved. This is completely unacceptable. But I know if I just call an emergency plumber myself and have them come fix it, there's no way I'm getting that fucking money back. Like, they're not going to pay me. They're going to be like, oh, you fixed it. Good. Thank you. And then never call me again.
Yeah.
And so at this point, I just calm down and I start talking to the dudes. They're almost done putting the fridge in. And the guy is like, well, there should be a way to turn off the, irrigation system, right? Should have a separate water supply. And I'm like, oh yeah, where would that be? And he's like, I don't know, man. It's your house. And I'm like, trying to stay calm. This is a new house, man. I don't know. Like, you have any ideas? And he's like, no, I don't know, man. It's all different. Every house is different. But there should be one. Like, you just got to turn that off and you'll be fine. And I'm like, okay, are you going to help me turn that off? And he's like, well, we're almost done with the fridge and then we'll be out of your hair. Like, no. So you're going to leave me with no water and a theory about a valve that will fix my problems in the short term. And this dude was not fucking helping. They're doing the fridge and he's like, well, there's definitely a way to do what I'm talking about. You just have to find that. Oh, I'm livid at this point. You can tell because I'm still livid. I wander around. Eventually, I find a magical nozzle under a different spigot in an area I would never have guessed that turns off the water flow to the irrigation system, and we can have water in the house. Problem solved. Right as these guys are almost done with the fridge, I find this and I come in and I'm like, hey, I think I found the thing. Like, is the fridge hooked up? Can I turn the water onto the house? And he's like, yeah. We're all good. He looked me right in my fucking eyes and was like, see, I told you there'd be a thing. This fucking guy who just ruined my entire morning, damaged my house, damaged an irrigation system that's probably so fucking old it doesn't even, they don't even make replacement parts or there's gotta be some dumb shit from this where it's like, oh, we can't fix it. Oh no, well, it's good. We can fix it in like 2 months or something. There's gotta be some fucking fallout from this. These fucking guys, and he looks me in my stupid bright red face and is like, see, I told you so. In that tone, my fists clenched at my sides. I've never been in a fight. I am not a confrontational person. I am generally polite and cordial with everyone, no matter how much of a dick they are to me. He said that. I didn't say shit. He said that to me. I clenched my fists and my jaw and just went, and just walked out to the garage and turned the water on. As I'm coming back inside, these dudes are gone. They are gone. I come into the house, I look out the back, and the thing is not gushing. And I turn on the sink real quick, and it's working. And I'm like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. It's fine. So we have water. The thing is, the irrigation is still broken, but it's isolated, so it'll be fine. We'll just get it fixed. It'll be fine. And as I'm standing at the sink in the kitchen, I'm looking out the front, and the dudes are like frantically like tossing their shit in the back of the truck, like tossing the tools, tossing the garbage that they had, the whatever, the clothes in the back. And I'm like, they can't be leaving. Don't I have to sign something saying that I accepted this expensive appliance? They're just gonna leave it? They just fucking eat everything in the truck and get in that motherfucker and speed off. Not another word. They knew what the fuck they did. They were fucking gone, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was my expression and my fist clenching or if they were just planning to do this the whole time. And now, so right before we started this, Manny texted me from the other room and is like, hey, water's not coming out of the fridge. Is it supposed to be getting cold? The fridge isn't cold and it doesn't seem to be working. And I just went out there and looked at it and it's not cold. It's been plugged in for like an hour. It's not getting cold. There's no water coming out. I'm hoping there's like a first time setup or some shit that you have to go through and push a certain thing of
That
buttons or something.
would
But like, if they set it up
irritate
incorrectly,
my dad.
if they just stopped what they were doing, they were like, fuck, leave, fucking leave, get out of here. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I lose my fucking mind. I'm just gonna start punching things or something because I have rarely felt this angry in my entire life at anything.
If they ran because they knew it was broken and they were afraid.
Oh my god.
Like all the water had somehow short-circuited something in the pump or something like that. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. I'm so sorry.
Do you still not know if your fridge works?
No. When I came back to record this, it was still 80 degrees inside the fridge and the freezer, and no water was coming out, and there was no sign of any reason why that would be happening.
Yeah, everyone listening at home, please understand. This actually happened an hour ago. This is
Literally, this all started at 9:30-ish a.m., and it's like it's just after 1 p.m. right now.
Yeah. Oh my god. There's nothing I love more. And I know it's not pleasant for you, Bob, but there's nothing I love more than indignant rage, Bob.
It's happened like 3 times.
Yeah,
it takes so much to get me here.
It's so rare,
my
but
God.
it's beautiful.
Well, the first dudes broke something else, right? The gas line wasn't working?
Yeah, so the first delivery, the fridge got dented. They claimed it wasn't them.
Yeah.
I had no evidence they did it, but it was dented, and they were trying to get me to accept it anyway, and they screwed up the gas line, which was an easy fix. The problem was more than I didn't know that the earthquake shutoff thing even existed. Once I learned what that was, it took me like 5 minutes to fix it. So right now in my backyard, there's a piece of pipe with a relay on top of it laying in the backyard. There's a dirt all over everything on the patio. Like, it's this very first world problem. It'll clean off. I understand that. But like, my whole backyard's a fucking explosion mess right now. And the fucking gall on that dude. Like, every step of the way it was that exact same tone of like, see, I told you.
Let me check it. Hey, let me measure it.
It sounds like the needs more mud guy all over again, dude. I feel that. Like, I feel that guy. He's the Californian version of, it just needs more mud.
It'll get more mud.
See, man, told you more mud would fix it. How are you, Bob?
I'm all right. You know, I was, during that whole thing, I was sort of sitting here trying to think of what's happened to me recently. Nothing's ever going to live up to the fridge. My life went from being filled with rage about the situation to now every time I do anything and all my social media, it's just 1,000 people constantly being like, but does your fridge work?
Well, does it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Is your house covered in water and your yard nothing besides an ocean now?
No, it's back to normal now. It's all fixed.
Are there cables and cords and tubes all over the street still?
Oh, so that wasn't even in the episode. Maybe this is a follow-up thing, because we recorded that before I learned that. So
right.
if you didn't listen to the fridge episode, which should precede this one, in the episode I was pissed, and it ended with the pipe in the backyard was broken, my backyard was pretty flooded, and the fridge deliverers were incompetent. After the episode recording, I went outside, and I saw something laying in the street in front of our house, and I was like, oh, that's weird, like trash or something. When you buy a new refrigerator, they make you buy a water connection, like a new water connection hose thing. It's like $50. And Lowe's is like, yeah, you can't buy a fridge without it. So I did. The guys who delivered the fridge left it in the box. And as they were running away, as they were trying to get away from my house that they had just destroyed, terrified because I was glaring at them, they must have been on the truck, and one of them was like, shit, dude, we got the hose. We didn't put the hose in. Fuck, what do? We keep it? And the guy's like, no, he bought that. We can't keep that. He might notice. And the other guy's just like, oh, I'm going to throw it. Let's go. And they threw it out the back of the truck, and I found it in the street in the packaging. So I'm not mad about it anymore, but that was a hilarious, like that happened and I actually started laughing. I went from unbridled rage to like, this is a cartoon and those guys are incompetent morons. How did this happen?
I imagine they were in such a hurry that one of them jumped in the driver's seat, like was trying to turn the engine to get the vehicle rolling, and the other one hopped in the back and was like, I'm not going to get in this chair. and like is trying to slam the big door closed. They pull the fridge out of, sees the box, just kicks it out, and like slams the door as they take off, screeching and leaving like tread marks on the street.
Yeah, I was going to say that you think they were looking out the window and they saw Bob walking like the Terminator towards them. And it was like, oh God! Throw the cable!
Go, Jim! Hit it, Jim!
Get out of here! And they fucking do a donut.
This is like a rule of the universe. They look, and I swing open the door, and I'm standing like a statue, and they just hear, "Jun, jun, 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 jun." And they're like, oh, shit. God damn it. Run, it's the Terminator.
Or freaking Jason emerging from the puddle of water like you were in there and you step out like dripping water. And
I don't know. I can't imagine, but like, I must have scared the shit out of those guys. I didn't threaten them or anything. I'm just very large, and I was about as angry as I've been in my entire life.
yeah.
It's kind of impressive, honestly. Thank you, incompetent refrigerator delivery men, for giving me such a funny story to tell.
A great episode of Distractable that everyone seemed to enjoy. They seemed to like it, so that's good.
It was universal. I had people texting me being like, that episode was amazing. If you are listening to this and you haven't listened to Bob's Fridge episode yet, if you're just finding Distractable, stop listening to this one unless it's funnier and go listen to Bob's Fridge for context.
1000%.
Yes.
But alas, we have to move on from the fridge, and hopefully we have a good one in store for you guys. You guys see part 3 of Bob's Fridge animated?
I did.
I did not.
I missed you and Mark emanating from my phone and coming out of things. I missed the perspective changes, but it was still
Part
pretty
3
funny.
is the one where you threw us. I think it was.
I throw my phone into space, I think, and you guys are maybe on my phone.
Yeah,
Something like that.
we're holding on.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
you have to watch
The claymation animation of the Bob's Fridge story
Never
that we
seen it.
talked about previously on the
Don't know what you're
podcast.
referring to.
I feel like you do.
You must be referring to some bootleg, unofficial animation that has not been commissioned by the Distractable
Oh no,
Council.
not commissioned or sanctioned, and they have merch now. I saw today that channel launched. The company delivering the fridge in their animation is called Woes, and they launched some Woes merch.
They've got more than I've
pretty good.
I've
That's
got
pretty
going
good.
on merch wise.
Yeah. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm Sir Walter Underbridge. See you in the next one, guys.
Okay. Well, I hope you enjoy it. Because I did. That is the most entertaining, and actually I'm gonna hit Sir Walter up because I need my Storytime 3D animated free of charge, by the way, if you're seeing this.